Just gonna get you to start it up. Hi, good morning. Good morning, Europe. I hope you're well. I hope you're in much better state than I am in. Yeah, I just posted. I'll probably delete that photo now, but just like I'm not making this up. I'm really swollen, and it's very painful. So yeah, just I just didn't want to. And I know it's my day off as well today. Well, it's not really my day off. I don't really do days off, but I'm in a pretty good mood. I have to tell you though. In spite of the pain, I'm like, oh well, just suck it up, sunshine, and let's get on with it. And yeah, I sometimes I know it sounds hard to understand, but I kind of sometimes miss you guys a little bit, and it's nice to be here and to trade with you. I think that's what we're doing, isn't it? We're trading together. Right, let's get to it. I wanted to show you something in the DAX. Is anybody aware of some major news out of the DAX? Why we should be up nearly 200 points? I know that the broker doesn't indicate that, but what you have to understand is that the broker, and this applies to most brokers, they will be basing that daily change on the merit of where the market closed at 10 o'clock at night Europe time. Yeah, but I base a gap on the merit of, well, where did we close at 5:30 Europe time on the Deutsche Börse Exchange, or whatever it's called, Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Yeah, but I haven't seen any news. So I'm thinking maybe there's a coalition brewing in the German electorate landscape, or maybe they invented a new Porsche. I don't know. I'm wobbling obviously because because I don't know what to say. Excuse me. What I can tell you is that 8 minutes into the trading session, we got a first bar positive. And if you're looking at where did the FTSE close yesterday, it closed at 8668. So now you are as informed as I am, although I'll bet that you're probably better informed than I am. So let's see what we can make of it today. Can we agree, everybody, that the trading range for today is 1 second. I'm sort of going for this being the overnight range. Are you sort of largely in agreement with that? I've seen that. You know that guy called ICT, Michael. Man, I've seen him I've seen him draw on a chart, and I don't know if it's the MT4 platform or what he's using, but he's just and he does things, and it takes me like half an hour to do. I'm really jealous. It's like I can't do that so quick. But anyway, so this is my idea of a trading range. But maybe he's just got better tools, or maybe he's actually done something I haven't done, which is to make an effort to learn how these bloody charting packages work. Oh, it seems like we cut out there for a second. It's a conspiracy. OBS began to kick it out the moment I started talking about Michael. I've just been told by reliably informed sources that he's drawing in something called TradingView. And yeah. Okay. Anyway, so this is what I consider the overnight range to be. Anyway, let's do a status. I got no open orders. My account is just short of 16,000. I got one open position. I'm quite certain that I'm paying a little bit in fees to hold this position. Maybe it would have been smarter to take like a quarterly contract. What we could do, just for kicks, because you know we are those kind of guys, we could have a look at the Australian index. And it also gives me an opportunity to practice my really not very good Australian accent. So if there's any Australians listening in, please be prepared to have your eardrums mutilated by my attempt of being funny. Before we do, let me just want to check something. The Australian market opens at 10 a.m. Sydney time. Right. What time is it in Sydney? It's 7:15. Oh my God, my brain power is not. Just checking this now. So by my estimation, Australia opens at, by my calculation, Australia opens at 11 p.m. UK time, which is my PC set on always. Don't ask me why. And so I think this bar here is the opening bar. Yeah. And this is a 15-minute chart. Let me just get rid of this. So it's this bar here that defines the open of the Australian index. And then we got the second bar, which is the school run bar. And it has a low of 8,227. The market goes 8,218. Anyway, so what my research is centered around is, do I take a traditional school run short here at 8,227? Or do I factor in that we are trading in some sort of range? Which means that instead of being a buyer at 8,227, I should attempt being, instead of being a seller, I should attempt being a buyer. And it's definitely clear to me that not only is this an inside bar, but whatever we define as the overnight range for the Australian index, which, let's face it, that does come down to discussion and interpretation. See, my gut feel here, ladies and gentlemen, would be, no, we are in a trading range, so we should be buyers here. Let's look at the previous day. I am keeping an eye on the DAX and the FTSE. Don't worry. Okay, so is this in a range? See, I'm beginning to think it really does depend on how far back do I go with a range. See, I'll perhaps be more inclined to, let me just, do you know what? I'd like to draw this on Paint. And can I just express something here to all of you? I am by no means an island, and you are more than welcome to write to me and contribute, should you wish, with your ideas. At the end of the day, what we're trying to do, and I acknowledge, yeah, sure, I'm probably the captain, but what we're really doing here is trying to help each other make money. What if I drew the overnight range from 6 p.m. and I sort of roughly, so let's roughly define this as the range. There we go. I need to learn how TradingView works. Okay, so if this is the trading range, then and here's the market open. So it's the second bar after the big, so it's this one here. Then this is the school run bar. I want to make sure I did that right. Yeah, I did. Then the market goes lower, 8240, 8229. That's hardly impressive, is it? So again, here it would seem that would be a better idea to be a buyer below. I have to admit though that the Australian index doesn't exactly have the biggest of ranges either. I'd like to just, obviously I'd like to see a hell of a lot more data than what I'm just going through here. Here's the Australian index and it triggers along here. So is that inside the range or is it outside the range? So if I sold short here, I would sell short right here. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but could I point this out to you? I've seen several times now during my research that, okay, I conclude this, that perhaps I'm outside of the overnight range to the downside, so I want to sell short here. And I'll probably have a stop loss somewhere. The market goes back down again, lingers around for 30 odd minutes, and then it shoots above. But what I've noticed of most importance to us is that if the market takes out that first reaction high when we are sold short below the range, then it actually becomes a good idea to be long. I don't know if you noticed this, but I saw that in the DAX last week. So to me, it's a function of trying to develop some if-then procedures. So here's the school run bar in the Australian index, the second 15-minute. But there, if you were a seller here, you have some joy, you would have some not joy, and then that's tricky. Australia doesn't seem to immediately lend itself. Let me just check in with the FTSE. We're coming up to, first of all, school run is about 5 minutes away in the DAX. And the FTSE seems to be lending itself to the possibility of a short signal at 8706. The low is 8707. So first bar is positive. If I double click on my software, the order should just go in automatically. 8706 and 10 pounds a point. Yeah. So I've input an order. I've deleted that picture now. So it looks like I'm going to get a fill in the FTSE. on a strategy called first bar positive. And I think that just triggered. Yes, it did. So while we're at it, I'd really like to look at the Nikkei. So I think Nikkei opens at midnight UK time. So that would be this one here. And there's the first 15 minute, second 15 minute, sell short here at 37,900. And it actually gives, that's a decent result. Now the question becomes, what is the overnight range? And then what about Hang Seng? Seemingly it opens at 130. So I imagine this is it. This bar here. So playing the Hang Seng on a school run would mean long here, there. Sorry, that box is right there. Then you have 45 minutes of misery, and then a good trade. This one here. But I'm not sure what the Hang Seng overnight range is. Let me just make a note of this. So we're coming up to the conclusion of the second 15-minute in the DAX. I'm going to get rid of these aggressive school run lines. So the way I read the chart would be, whatever happens here, we need to be sellers above and buyers below. It's going to go a little easy here. Obviously keeping an eye on the FTSE. If I go to a slightly larger time frame, it's difficult to move the stop loss to something meaningful. I think I'm just going to leave the stop loss there for now. Big ranges in the Hang Seng though. So the parameters for the school run this morning is 596 and 546. It seems as if Telegram is cutting out every now and then. Okay, so we're coming up to a school run trigger. We just micro double topped here. It went as high as 596.35 to 595.85. So here we go. I'm shorting the DAX here. So I've shorted the DAX above this range here. And this is what it looks like. I moved my stop loss in a FTSE down a little bit. Let's go over to the DAX. So I'm about 10 points in profit. I'm going to take a chance here, ladies and gentlemen, and move my stop loss down to just above the high. So my stop loss is now 605. No, I'm going to move stop loss to break even. Yeah, stop losses to break even in the FTSE, in the DAX. Ooh, just did an eye movement there. So just so that this channel doesn't lose its objective, what I have done here is sold short the DAX above, instead of doing the traditional school run, I did an anti-school run. Why did I do that? Because by my estimation, we are inside the trading range that was established during the night. And that is the reason why I, instead of buying the DAX and a traditional school run, I shorted it. My FTSE is no longer looking so good. I was 6 points at the best in profit. FTSE is staging a comeback. I'm not doing so well in the FTSE. As you can see on the P&L, whatever I'm making on the DAX, I am pretty much losing on the FTSE. the 5-minute chart in the DAX just suggests that we are within a trading range. So here's my account. I'm actually negative now. I would like to add to the DAX short if we got down into 568. Just to give you an idea of the FTSE, stop loss is at 15.6. We are just 1 point away from that happening, unfortunately. So it seems as if the FTSE took out the overnight range and reversed back into the range. I have moved my stop loss down. I had a stop loss of 20 points. I reduced that to 10 points, and now I am close to being stopped out. DAX is on the 30-minute chart is looking like this. Maybe DAX wants to visit the low end of the range too. I have just been stopped out of the FTSE. So FTSE is out of the game for me. First bar negative. Did it deliver? Well, it depends on how you define deliver. It delivered 7 points minus the entry, so that was 6 points. So by my estimation, if we were to take out 604 again, that would be a buy signal. My stop loss is at 99. We're not far off, so I imagine I will get stopped out. And I'm ready to flip the switch here at 604. FTSE would have stopped me out, or it's close to it would have stopped me out for my full whack. Sometimes I feel the need to just go, okay, I had a stop loss at 26. That's probably a good idea. I did move the stop loss down. So stopped out. FTSE is really rocking. Would have stopped me out for a full loss. Why you have call a long setup today? Can I have that in English? Okay, I'm buying the DAX here. So the reason why I am long DAX, as I explained a little bit earlier today, I've noticed that when you are inside the range and the market retraces and then comes back up and tests this area, you don't want to be short anymore. You don't want to short that. I showed it here in, was it the Aussie? And anyway, I better keep an eye on this. FTSE is on fire. No, I do not understand. Nicola, if you are listening in, let me go through that one more time. This bar here is the school run bar, and it takes place inside the trading range. I shorted above because we are inside the trading range. Market retraced all the way back here, but as I pointed out, if the market then goes up and takes out that high again, you don't want to short it again. You want to be long, which is what we are now. So now the question is, do you take your profit here on the double top, or do you bet on the average true range going to produce a breakout above 1, 2, 3? So it's basically breaking above a 4-day high. And that becomes the question, doesn't it? Currently 10 points up. I'm just inclined to let it run, maybe move stop loss a bit. So I think I'll move my stop loss up to below the current 10-minute range, meaning I'm risking 12 points. Stop loss is now at 22,591. I hope that lesson made sense to you. I'm gonna love you and leave you now. My eye is beginning to hurt significantly more now. So thanks a lot for listening in, and I will see you later. Bye for now.